Welcome to the Soul Flow podcast with Steph, Aisha, and Josie. We are spiritual life coaches. Join us in our flow as we share our journey towards our soul's purpose while co-creating a conscious community and raising your vibration. Get ready to meet your highest self and discover your true, unique power. Let's dive right in. Hello, Soul Flow fam.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode at the Soul Flow podcast. We are coming live to you from LA. How are you feeling, ladies? We are here.
It's been a magical weekend. Just being with you both and finally meeting you both in person and feeling your energy and your presence. It's been amazing. I just feel like it just confirms you guys are my soul sisters. And I really felt that. I felt that via Zoom. But being in person is just, it's good.
It's off the chains. I'm feeling, so excited. We actually came here to a To Be Magnetic event, which brings us to our episode today, which Aisha will talk about. But, it's a magnetic energy that we're feeling. And so this episode is really dedicated to you, the audience. Aisha, I would love for you to tell us more about what the audience can expect for today.
Yes, thank you, Josie. So today's episode is all about manifestation. We are going to dive into the energetics and then the actionable steps you can do to manifest your highest desired reality into your real reality outside of this, just the dreaming. Mm-hmm. So to begin with, we're going to begin with just the basic definition of manifestation. Manifestation is bringing into the tangible, into the physical realm, everything and anything we desire. And it could potentially be anything.
Even if there is something that you don't want, but is showing up in the physical realm, somehow you are manifesting that thing.
Yes, there is so much that goes into manifestation that I think people realize. It's not just, let me just say this and do this, and that's going to happen. A lot of it is the internal belief. Mm-hmm. Our inner reality reflects the outer. And so many people are frustrated that they cannot manifest. They have been trying to manifest an outcome and it's not happening. They're so attached to the outcome of that. And the internal is still in this lack mentality, right? The lack versus abundance, the trust and mistrust in the universe. So until you've done that inner work and believing that inner reality believes that you deserve what you desire and you detach from it and you trust and let go, you won't be able to manifest it because you're still coming from lack, and all you're going to attract is more lack into your life.
Yeah, I actually think that's a really good point, because when I first came into manifestation, I was saying, I don't want this. My big dreams is I want a big house. Mm-hmm. I want more money. I want this, and this. But my subconscious mind was actually saying, I don't want this job. Mm-hmm. I want a new job. I don't want this. I don't want this. And when you say I don't want something, that is actually manifesting into your reality, which I think is very important for people to know. It's a subconscious level that, whatever you think is going to be your reality. So we do have some, I think, great things to talk with the audience, you guys, about on how to truly manifest what you really want, your own reality. Because at the end of the day, you do create your own reality.
I want to add to that too, Josie. There could be a soothing factor in that too, because there's some sort of ease in that comfort. Mm-hmm. You're continuing to manifest that on a subconscious level.
Because manifestation works a lot with clarity as well. Mm-hmm. What you want to manifest the universe wants you to be specific. You want to be careful of the language you use. Instead of saying, I don't want that, just say what you do want, because the universe is constantly listening. And so it doesn't really understand the negatives, like the do not words, right?
Right.
It cancels that out and it just hears, I don't want that. And for example, oh, I'm so afraid. I love my new car. I don't ever want to get in a car accident. I don't never want to. We get in this fear mentality. I don't want my car to crash. I don't want my car to crash. I don't want my car to crash. Guess what's going to happen? Your car is going to crash.
Yeah.
Because that is what you're speaking. That is what you're believing. That is what you're attracting, essentially, right? And instead you say, oh, I love my new car. God, please protect my car. Do you see just like the vibrational difference between those
The
two
energetics
sentences? Yeah, the
behind-
energetics behind it. Our words are vibrations, and manifestation is putting out our beliefs with our words.
Yeah. So that's actually a really good point. So what can we tell our audience, or what do you recommend for our listeners on what are ways you can unblock yourself in order to receive?
It's definitely just doing that inner work. Doing that inner work, the shadow work, the journaling, getting to know yourself. You know, if you need to go to therapy, if you need to go to a coach, if you need to talk to a friend about it, if you need to just record yourself on your phone and talk to yourself, like, what do I desire? Or why don't I feel worthy? Like, what's underneath? Like, if I'm not receiving something I desire, why? Just getting curious, you know, instead of being fearful of that inner work, almost become curious. Because when we become curious, then I feel like that's energetically, again, different from that fear. And you're one step closer to what you want to desire. And when we become curious, then it's almost like this game you're playing, like, okay, like, oh, I have this pattern of mine. I kind of want to stop repeating it. What actions can I do that the acceptance, you know, the awareness to begin with. Awareness is such a like aha moment, right? For us to just begin this journey of unblocking our beliefs. Like, most people are not even aware. They're not even aware that they're unconsciously attracting what they don't want.
And energetically too, I believe in energy. Being aware of what place that you're energetically where you're coming from. So first thing in the morning when I wake up, the first thing that my first thought is, how am I feeling on an energetic level? Because how you feel energetically can determine the tone of your day and what you manifest in your day. And so I put in a lot of energy towards making sure my energy is good from when I first wake up in the morning. So what helps me get in a good energetic space is, saying 3 things I'm grateful for every morning, and movement always gets me in a good energetic place. So I'll go on a morning walk, get some sun first thing in the morning, that vitamin D. I will do some affirmations. Sometimes I'll do tapping. What else do I do? Journaling. I think I said journaling already. Yeah. But protecting your energy and doing what you need to do to get yourself to a higher vibration, and coming from that place as well. Because, when we don't feel good, when we're not vibrating on a high frequency, we tend to attract things that are also on a low vibration.
Yeah, I'd say for me, unblocking and really getting into my subconscious is definitely journaling as well. And I, thinking back 6 months ago, I was that person where it's like, I don't want this. I don't want this. And just negative thoughts kept running through my mind. And I'm like, I don't know how to stop it. So I would actually listen to meditations of abundance so I could clear my thoughts out as much as possible. And so I'm receiving positive messages into my subconscious mind to clear my own thoughts. And that actually really helped me unblock a lot, and then journal afterwards. So I released that energy out to make more new energy, good energy come in.
Yeah. So it's so simple in theory, right? But there is that depth that goes with it where like, you're like, damn, I have to switch the flip on the way I talk.
Yes.
The negative self-thoughts, my internal beliefs, like truly sitting with your worst feelings, releasing them. And then that creates space for the new, like, okay, and combining that with what you were saying, the action steps, right? The action steps of scripting in, writing affirmations. I want this. I love this. Thank you for this. That's another great one. Like writing it down as if it's already here. Because when you energetically align yourself to my manifestations, it's here, right? Within me instead of outside of me, right? When you're back in that chasing instead of leaning back and receiving.
Also, what really helped me that I enjoyed, I used to record voice memos. And I say I used to because I go through cycles, and I'm not currently doing it now. I am looking to bring that back in come the new year. Actually, I probably won't wait till the new year, but but I was doing it religiously for 2 months. Every single day, I would record a voice memo. And there was 3 parts. So the first part was saying all the things that I was grateful for, because that automatically puts you in a high vibrational energetic space. And then the second part is saying how my day went as if it already happened, because obviously I was recording this first thing in the morning. But I would say, so today I had an amazing day. I got to make so many great connections, and I had such in-depth conversations. I got a new client, all the things, right? So you would say it as if the day already happened. Basically, you're putting out what you want to manifest in your day. And then the third part is saying basically your future life as if it already happened. So, I am living this life in San Diego. I'm saying San Diego because that's where eventually I want to move to. I bought this beautiful house in San Diego, and I have my kids, and I'm traveling the world. And so it's your goals on a grand scale. But you're saying it as if you're already living it. So there's 3 parts. So depending on how you best learn, for me, I'm auditory, so I like to hear things. So I would do these voice recordings, and then I would play it back. And then I felt that in my heart when I was, replaying it. It did something for me energetically, and it automatically put me in a high vibrational state. So yeah, I recommend, if for those of you that are auditory learners, doing this practice first thing in the morning and committing to even just, start with a week and then 2 weeks, and then, it'll just become easier, and you'll see how quickly your energy shifts.
That's actually a really good point. On the same topic, I'm a visual learner. And so what helped me was visualizing, closing my eyes and visualizing what my day looked like, and like my dream life, who I'm with, what I'm doing, where I'm at. And I can like seriously see it and visualize it. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
I love the points of like combining like our learning styles with manifestation. For me, similar. I'm very visualizing, like, seer, dreaming. So I made a vision board, and on that I picked like the most specific pictures that I can find that align with my vision. And so having those images on a board that like sits in a place where I just see it every day, and I'm constantly being reminded that, oh, it's already here. Like these visions are right here. And then it's about just trusting and surrendering and that detachment. When you stop chasing, you just sit in this like detachment of like, it's here. Everything is happening at once, all at once. When you trust and surrender and believe that the universe got your back like no other. The universe got me and it got my sisters. And we come together. We manifested coming together.
We manifested this weekend.
This weekend we did, you know.
And yeah, trusting, surrendering what Aisha said, and letting go of control, and just trusting that, you know, your higher power, whether that's God, Buddha, you know, for me, it's God, has my back always. And I don't need to worry.
The belief, the action together, and it's here.
And for those of you that are kinesthetic learners, I think, Aisha, you probably have a little bit of this too, because you're really into movement. Dancing and
you
moving your body.
You can bring in this not just through the affirmations, the writing, the journaling, the vision boards, and through movement. Because when we move, you know, we become in this high vibrational state. Like I feel euphoric when I dance, and you want to manifest your reality when you're feeling good. You know, feeling is that like that middle piece of like feel into what your visions feel like. Because that makes you feel alive and that puts you in the present moment. And when we dance, we move, you can imagine, you can visualize what you desire as you're dancing, or set an intention that, you know, I'm dedicating my dance for my manifestation, you know, what I desire to see more of in this world. Or for me, like the last ecstatic dance I went to, I dedicated my whole dance for world peace. And I was just constantly like, it was like a prayer. And that's something I genuinely desire to see in this world. And I believe it will happen. I do. Yeah. And so I did it that way. Please share some ways you ladies have manifested things, or what you have manifested into your life.
Well, I manifested this weekend and surrounding myself with people that I actually want to do life with. Community and making new friends, sisters that, you know, I've had obviously many friends throughout my life, but I knew that I wanted more depth in my relationships. And so I always felt like I was like the odd one.
Rainbow sheep.
in my group. And I wanted to surround myself and manifest other like-minded humans that can understand me on a spiritual level and understand what happens in this crazy mind of mine. And I did, you know, 2 right here next to me, and I'm continuing to, to birth new deep friendships. And also manifesting healing and peace and calmness in my life, not being so chaotic, you know, and at times it does get uncomfortable, but there's so much beauty in sitting in the uncomfortable feelings. So just manifesting peace and calm in my heart and my soul and my life. Sisterhood, community, this podcast, opening up my throat chakra, being able to speak. For many years, I was scared to speak. I thought I wasn't smart enough. I thought, you know, I didn't have nobody's going to want to hear what I'm saying. All the fixed beliefs that came from my childhood. So just being able to have a platform to be able to share my wisdom and my heart, and traveling too. And those are some amazing things that I feel like I manifested.
I've manifested. One thing that just comes to mind is my new car. And it comes to mind because I've been looking for a car for over a year, maybe like, I want to say almost 2 years. And, you know, I wanted all these things. I wanted it to be leather. I wanted either like a Toyota or a Honda that would last forever. And I had this list, and we would look at cars. And I swear something was always wrong with one of them. Like the engine was too loud, or it made this squeaky noise when I test drove it. And it just never worked out. And so when we were meeting, Aisha was talking about the full moon, and she was like, I go to the water or to like outside nature, and I journal, and then I release anything I need to release. And then I write down like what I want to manifest. And during that full moon, I think it was maybe in August when we had 2 full moons, right?
That was one of the strongest
Yes.
months this year.
So I went to the beach for the first time. I wrote down what I was releasing, and I wrote down what I wanted to manifest. And I was very specific, as this weekend, it was Memorial, was it Memorial? I don't remember what holiday it was. But I was like, this weekend, I'm going to get a car. And I wrote down, not as specific, but I wrote down, I'm going to get a car. And I could feel it, like in my bones, I could feel it. And then I tore the paper up and I shredded it and I released it into the ocean. And yes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm littering right now. But I released it into the ocean and I looked up to the full moon. It was so bright in my face. And lo and behold, the next day I got a 2023 car. It was quick, but it was not. I was looking for a car for a year, over a year.
Like God was waiting for you to get specific. Like, ask and you shall receive.
Yes,
honey.
it's divine timing and it's surrendering and letting go. I had to let go of my expectations and just leave it up to God. But what will happen will happen. And I got a brand new car with great gas mileage, the price was amazing. It's like all of these things came to me when I surrendered and let go of my own expectations. So that's one thing I manifested this year, but through through divine timing. So. What about you, Aisha?
I love how specific that manifestation was for you, Josie. And it just goes to show, like, again, when the more specific you get, the better. And manifestation, exactly, it can be from the littlest thing to the biggest thing, right? It could be like, you can almost practice your little skills of like, I just wanna see a little puppy on my walk today, God. And just practice that tool, like flexing that muscle, like Michelle was saying yesterday.
That's a good point.
And you like if you're iffy about this, and then you really start seeing what you desire to see, and then you made it so specific for universe to bring that to you.
Yeah,
I remember that actually. For me, the biggest one this year was manifesting a conscious community. I have been manifesting this since 2020, and I had to take time away from the communities that I was, in my past, and spend so much time in isolation to shed, to release, to do all the inner work, and then come to a place where I finally feel worthy, because I was okay being alone. I was okay being alone. I started feeling worthy that, no, I have done all this work. I deserve to be treated kindly and lovingly and with support in the community I'm in. And when I finally fully believed that, it came into my reality this year. And I also moved. I did the action step with it. I moved states and went to a new place too. Because a lot of times what you desire, like it could be waiting for you in another place. And that's that actionable step. That's another action step with all the other ones we've talked about in this episode. I did the action step to go somewhere where I felt called to. And that community was waiting for me there.
Yeah.
And it came all at once, from being in this super isolation for 3 years to like, oh my God, all this conscious community in person, online, our podcast, and here we are. We are. So
it's almost like when you step into the unknown and you release that fear or anxiety, it's when you receive.
Trust, flow, surrender, let go. Flow, surrender, let go.
And also being in the present moment.
That flow.
I remember for many years I was living in the past, and I would manifest a lot of things that kept showing up in my past. And I'm like, why is it still showing up? Because I hadn't let go of a lot of things, and I was constantly thinking about the past and reliving moments in my past. And then there were moments where I would think too much into the future of
Mhm.
like, you know, I'm a dreamer. I'm a big dreamer. And so I would think of, on a grand scale and taking myself out of the present moment. And I've noticed that when I choose to be in the present moment, that's when things really start happening. When I'm not so focused in the past, I'm not so focused in the future, but in the now. Of course, we're going to think about our goals and what we want to bring to life, right? We have our goals our future goals. But what do you get to do now in the present moment that will inch you closer, that will get you closer to your goal?
Yeah, if there's one thing you can leave our audience with manifestation, Steph and Aisha, what would you tell our listeners?
It's a great question. To not give up on yourself. To not give up, to keep going no matter what. There is going to be moments that you're going to want to throw in the towel. You're going to want to give up on yourself. Life is going to keep happening for you. And my biggest advice is just don't quit. Seek the help that you need. Like what Aisha said earlier, whether it's getting a coach, whether it's getting a therapist, an energy healer, there's so many different modalities. Educating yourself, and you know best what you need. And on a conscious level, it may not happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight with me. And I just knew that I can't give up on myself, that I'm worth it, that I'm worth having all the things that I want. And just you're going to be your biggest fan, and nobody's going to believe in you more than you.
As you should.
So just don't quit, keep going, and surround yourself. Environment, community is important. Surround yourself with other people that support you and that can empower you.
That make you shine.
That make you shine. And that won't dim your light.
Exactly.
Yes.
The biggest advice I would say is what you resist persists. Don't be afraid of your own shadow. It's all connected. The internal reflects the external. If you're trying to manifest and it's not happening, there's either a different plan or there still needs to be more light shed into your shadows. And you've got to sit with those first in order to manifest it into your external. Like, think of the manifestation as the last physical. Coming into the physical is like the last piece of this process. The beginning is so important. The unconscious, subconscious beliefs, diving into those, clearing those are just as important as the action steps. And then one without the other isn't going to work. So don't resist that shadow. And it's okay. We all have them. We literally, all of us, nobody's perfect. Nobody, I don't care who you think, literally there's not one person in this world without a shadow. And so to make friends with that person and love them and send light to them and release those blockages that keep you from accepting yourself. And when you feel whole in yourself, then you don't need any outside validation. And then it all comes to you. When a person is so detached, they are the most magnetic and attractive person to the universe.
It's, I like that. I like that point that you brought up, Aisha. I like to bring up this story. I always tell my friends this. So it's almost like, okay, so you're traveling somewhere, right? You're traveling to, where you're going, obviously, like, the destination, right? You're hopping on a plane, and let's say you're going to Greece. That's the destination. That's your goal. Greece is your goal. You're going to be on that plane for 12 hours, and everyone's experience, your experience is going to be different than the other person that's sitting next to you. You get to choose your experience. You trust that the flight attendant or the pilot is going to fly the plane to Greece. You already know you're going to Greece. You're not questioning, Am I going to Mexico? Am I going to, I don't know if he's really going to
Fly a crash.
Right. You don't have, right? Like so the trust, the surrender I compare that to trusting and surrendering. Now the process, the journey is, how are you going to make that the best experience, the most enjoyable experience, right? You can choose to, let's say there's a baby crying on the airplane, and you can choose to be like, oh my God, da, 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 and, react to it and think it's like the most miserable moment of your life because you just can't stand the baby is crying. Or you can choose to embrace other things that's happening on that flight. Like this is maybe your peace, and you're used to like being on the go, and you actually get a moment to like sit and relax and this is like yourself, your alone time, not your alone time, but like
the internal, and the journey. Right.
So I mean, say
such a beautiful point.
Right?
We can put our trust into pilots and bus drivers and taxi drivers.
You know where you're going.
We can't put our trust in God, the creator of this entire world. It's so similar to that trust.
So the journey, the experience is much more important, in my opinion, than the destination. You already know where you're going. You already know.
You got it.
Right? You just, the pilot is going to fly you to Greece. But that journey.
Enjoy the journey and believe in that divine timing that, like I trust, like sometimes we don't get our manifestations because we're not ready for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes God doesn't give you your blessings because you would fumble the bag if you got them now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what to do with it.
Pop in those AirPods and enjoy a podcast. You need to listen. So in closing, I always love sharing that story just because it's all about the journey. It's all about the experience. There's going to be so many things that's going to happen on that journey, but you get to embrace the shadow aspect, the light aspect, all of it.
And we are here to support you 1000%.
Yes. I hope you found value, gems in this episode. We'd like to know how you are manifesting, what you're looking to manifest going into 2024, which is around the corner. And protect your energy.
And with that, ladies, it is a wrap for our manifestation episode. We did want to bring this episode to you at the end of the year so you can start looking into your internal beliefs and do some action steps to bring your manifestations into your reality next year. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Follow on Instagrams at Self Love Podcast. Tune in every Tuesday and follow us on Instagram as well on Flow with Aisha,
The Divine Self by Josie,
and Soul Glow Coaching for more gems and wisdom.
Love you guys.
Love you. And as always, do what makes your soul flow.
Yes.
So flow, so flow, so flow.